but I feel pretty good when I have a picture showing you my wonderful family. This is actually a picture from, I don't know, a year ago, I think, when I was about to get on a plane with Thomas to go to Hong Kong. And this is at the Prague airport. And you can see my wife, Anna, and in that backpack is Sebastian. And down below on the left is Christian. And on the right, on your right, is Samuel. These, I'm just going to speak for, I promise, just for 1 minute to give you some background. I started with the company 14 years ago, almost. In June, it'll be 14 years. And I started in Ljubljana, Slovenia. And I did not have a wife and kids at that time. I was a single guy and started out alone. And I'll talk to you more about that later because it has to do with launching new countries. But it was 10 years ago that I met the lady that you see there on the screen. And her name is Anna. She's from Pilsen in the Czech Republic. And I met her on a Christian ministry trip to orphan and homeless children in the Ukraine. I was with a team of Czechs, and I fell in love with her on that trip, even though she didn't speak a word of English at the time. Since then, her English is so good, she's taught English. And those three boys are not ours by birth, but they're our foster children who came into our lives 2 years ago. Almost going on 2.5, I guess. And boy, that kind of change just had a radical impact on my life and, yes, on my business, because me traveling constantly with Anna around the world, which we have done. We have literally been around the world from Maui to Moscow and many places in between. Suddenly your priorities change, and boy, what beautiful priorities they are. So I'm a pretty happy guy with a wonderful family. And it's hard for me to keep traveling and going on these big trips. But even on Monday, I'm leaving for another one to go to South Korea. So I got to do what I got to do to take care of my family. And I know a lot of you who are listening feel exactly the same way. So I'm going to go on now, and I'm going to talk about the keys to successfully launching new markets. First of all, I know this seems old-fashioned to talk about, but you really have to set goals that are challenging. And when I started in Ljubljana 14 years ago, my goal, I got to tell you, I flew to the home office of the company in Dallas, and I saw what they were offering, and I'd never sold anything like that before, and I had no idea whether in Slovenia people would like it. But when I went back and I was alone in my apartment, and I looked in my back office, and my genealogy had all of me and nobody on either leg. And I know there are people listening right now who know exactly that feeling. Of course, everybody does when they start out in our business. But what I'm talking about is city and country launchers. You know that feeling. You've got big goals, and you've checked out your country, and you've looked at all the key markets, and you imagine great big meetings in all the places. But at the same time, you know you're starting on your own. Maybe even you know a few people who want to do it with you, and that's happened to us in the past. Russia, for example, had a whole team ready to go. But there you are, all alone, and you're going to launch a city or a country. That's pretty intimidating. And so I just want to tell you, set goals that are wonderful, that cover all different aspects of your life, that cover physical and mental and spiritual and travel and money and presentations and rooms full of people and all of those things. But at the same time, make sure that you understand that this is a business, when you launch countries, that that takes time. It happens, as Dan and Joe often say, over time, not overnight. And so set goals that are realistic, but that push you beyond the norm, because it's no good setting little goals. It's not exciting for anybody. Who cares about somebody who tells them about their little goals? So set big ones, and I'll go on. I'm going to minimize this box. There we go. Hopefully that, okay. A big thing, and I learned a lot about this from Joe Garcia, but a big thing is to control your thinking. It is very easy when you're starting out launching a country, and many people are saying no, 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 and they're not capturing the same vision that you have. They're not excited like you are. It's very easy for your head to get in the wrong place and for you just to really, I don't know, be drowning. And when those kind of things happen, there are things that you absolutely have to do. You need to find people who are like-minded pioneers who want to do the same thing that you do, who get excited when you talk about your vision, who excite you when they talk about theirs. As soon as possible, get at least one awesome partner in pioneer vision on your side to work with you. It'd be great if it was your husband or wife, but that doesn't always happen, as you know. But you got to find these people, and then you got to see them regularly, spend time with them, strategize with them, look at the maps of your country, your city, visualize all this stuff. This will help you keep your head in the right place. And another one is talk often with your upline. In my 13 and a half, 14 years in this company, and by the way, I knew Dan Cotto in my first company. I've been in two companies. My first company was in America, and Dan did the same thing there. But you need to talk to your upline, the ones who are positive and excited about you. And it will remind you that you're awesome and that you're going to accomplish great things and that you're not going to let these things get you down. And if you have upline like that, of course we do, we have Dan Cotto and Joe Garcia. If you've got people like that, then take advantage of them, use them, force them to help you to do this incredibly difficult but wonderful thing of launching a new market. So I can't tell you the countless times that Dan Cotto has called me and I didn't want to talk to him, because I knew when he called me, he was looking at my business, he was seeing that some country or market, I have lots of countries around the world, etc., was going down, that I did an event and 5 people showed up, even though I drove for 12 hours to get there. Yeah, that happened to me. Sometimes even just the person holding the meeting and their mother-in-law or something showed up. I mean, it is so defeating. And then the phone call would come in. I'd look at my phone. Oh, no, it's Dan Cotto. He's going to try to get me all charged up. He's going to go, Garth, you're great. You're awesome. You are the great Garth. And I'm like, I just don't want to hear it. I want to sit in the corner, suck my thumb, and be depressed right now. But I would answer the call, and sure enough, 10 minutes later, it might take 20, but Dan had me up and practically pacing the room and being excited again. And Joe Garcia does the same thing, but he uses a little different technique. He really listens to you first, asking questions and seeing where you're at, and then he very gently reminds you of the things that you need to do to get back up and go for it. And both of them work. I need both strategies to keep me going. And if you do too, then please find like-minded pioneers that will encourage you, and talk often with your upline that will inspire you. And you can keep going in this difficult task of successfully opening new markets. Okay. Let's see if I can, there we go. listen, I want to highly recommend to you, even if you were sitting in your home country, your city, your home, and you're thinking, I don't want to reach my market. I don't want to let my friends and neighbors know what I'm doing. I want to run a magic ad in another country and get people I don't even know, and then we'll build a huge business. And I can just tell my friends, yeah, I got a new car, but I'm doing this little thing. We don't need to talk about it. Oh, yeah, moving to a new neighborhood, got a bigger house. Yeah, we just went on a vacation to Maui. It was great. You don't want to tell them because you can have a fear of talking about being in that network marketing thing. And I got to tell you, get over that as fast as possible. My local community here in Prague, the people that know me the best, that I know the most number of people, like 100 people, call me friend, know me very well, is the church that I go to. And in that place where here's all these people, when people ask me what do, I explain my business because that's what I do, and I got to own it. If I want to be a professional, if I want to be on the top, if I want to be successful, I can't look away from people or say, oh yeah, I'm working on a book or I'm doing this little thing. No, I've got to focus on what I'm doing, which is being a top network marketing professional, launching a market. Get over that and then focus on your own country first. And when you do that, understand, of course, that it's so awesome that you can do a market where you're offering something that everybody around you wants. I know this is right out of your presentation PowerPoint probably, but everywhere I go, all around the world, and I think I've been to 70 countries. I haven't counted it lately, but I plan on going to a lot more. But everywhere I go, people are looking for these things, and you focus on what people want, not on what you want. If you help them get what they want, you're going to get that. And what they're looking for, and you have this story, is they're looking for financial security. They're looking for time for their family. I don't know anybody who makes an income like I make, who gets to spend as much time with their family as I do. Most people who make a six-figure annual income, they don't even see their families, okay? They leave early in the morning for the office or hit the road. They come home after the kids are asleep. They get some hours with them on Saturday if they're not still working, maybe on Sunday. Man, you have that to offer. Excellent health. Gosh, I'm in the best health, physically speaking, in terms of weight loss, muscle building, health, internal health, etc., that I have been, I think, in my whole life. And early retirement. I mean, who doesn't want that? So you have this to offer. You've got to know what it is you're offering the people and what they want. And then you can tell everybody. You don't have to go to some other country right off the bat. You can tell the people across the street. You can tell the people where you go shopping, where you pick up your dry cleaning, the club that you're a part of. I mean, you can just tell everybody that you have this to offer. Do you believe that? I know for most people who are listening now, you're still struggling to get your business to the point that it's paying all your bills. So you're saying, my belief level's not so high. I've got to get somebody else to do my presentations. I don't really know if this thing is going to work. It works. You got to work it, and you got to work your plan and stick with it, but it works, I promise you, from experience. You really need to sell the story when you're in a new market of what it means to be first. I'll tell you, there are people out there who they missed everything. They missed investing in Amazon and investing in Facebook and investing in Apple, and they missed that. They didn't open the first McDonald's in their town, okay? They missed that. So many things that they know that they missed, and they're always almost hitting themselves saying, oh, why didn't I invest in that? Why didn't I start that first? Oh, I had that idea, but I didn't do it. Well, guess what? You have this amazing story to tell people you can be first. And you know, with our company's track record and our growth rate and the Fortune magazine thing and everything else, you know absolutely that the company is going to the top in country after country. So offer it to the people around you. There are people there who'd love to hear, finally, they get to be first and they get to build this giant business under them. It's a great story. Speaking of stories, NHC Global, the Fortune magazine amazing record, 2015 number 2, 2016 number 1, 2017 number 1, fastest growing publicly traded company in the world, helping people create $1 million incomes. I've got a lot of people in our company who've done that. Proven company with high impact products. You know yourself from using the products, the impact that they have. I got to tell you, just for me, I'm into bodybuilding and in weightlifting. You know, we have products, our protein product, our fiber product, which are tremendous to help me. So I've got a story to tell people about how the products have helped me. Internet-based e-commerce model. Everybody knows the internet's going through the roof. You have the chance to tell them, I'm in that kind of business. Do business in all the free market countries. Wow, do you have a chance for travel in this or what? Unbelievable. Consumable and scientifically validated products. We have just so much information, so many videos, so many great doctors, so many everything to back up our products. Simple, high-paying compensation plan. I got to tell you, my first company marketing plan was like rocket science to understand. Here you can tell people 2 legs. Get great people with vision on either leg. Get them to the point that they're making their full-time income, supporting their families from this business just on 2 legs, not 5, not 6, not 25, not some crazy plan, complicated and everything. It fundamentally, it is that simple. And everybody who's at the top will tell you the same. They will point to you. I have this group, this person, on this leg, I have this group or these groups and these people on that leg, I have financial independence. It doesn't get any more simple than that. So sell the story. Find your leadership team. Gosh, you know, when I started out in the business in summer of 2004 in Ljubljana, Slovenia, immediately I was looking for a team. I knew that if we were going to be first in Slovenia, just that little country, we needed to have a team, and I needed to get them up to speed as fast as possible, that they could do great presentations everywhere they went, and they could share the vision. Of course, I was excited when network marketers came on board because they already believe in that business. They already have a lot of experience in how to do the business, but probably they never made it until you offer them the opportunity. And then they realize, this is the one that I've been waiting for. Now I'm going to take all my experience. You know, you collapse the time frame. The growth curve is not an issue. They're ready to go and excited. And there are people who are listening on this call right now who have years of experience in network marketing and knew when NHC Global came along, this was what they were waiting for. They could finally take all of their experience and put it into play and make it happen. Look for people who are really sick and tired of their life the way that it is, and they would just do anything to change it. Because anything is what they need to do, because they're going to have to add a massive amount to their already existing busy schedule, working full-time probably, and part-time in the evenings, on weekends and everything, do this business and get their family to come on board with that. They've got to be so sick and tired of their life that they're willing to make these big sacrifices and changes in order to do this. And then look for ambitious people. They're just people who know they were designed to be rich. They were designed to be successful. They were designed to stand on stages and talk to huge groups of people and motivate and fire them up and inspire them. They were made that way. They're just looking for the opportunity to take advantage and make it happen. You have that opportunity. And then with your leadership team, when we started in Slovenia, every week we had meetings. They weren't always great. And it took me a while to learn how to do a great meeting and how to cut the negativity and the gossip and everything out and get down to talking about the great challenges, we called them, not failures from the past week, but challenges that they had and how they would overcome that. And then the success stories. And people would leave the weekly leadership meeting on fire, ready to hit the road to reach that country and beyond. I want to talk to you about some lessons learned from my Slovenia experience. And here is a picture of our launching meeting. I believe Joe Garcia was the speaker that day, but our launching meeting that we had in Ljubljana. And we had already started. We'd spent, a year working hard on getting things in shape so that we could have this beautiful day. Would be standing room only. And this only represents a tiny fragment of the people that we had in that market at that time. But what is established, okay, what I learned from this is I thought when I looked at the room full of people that I was ready to go and move up to the Czech Republic and work on launching. My actual big vision was Germany, biggest economy in Europe, many successful network marketers there, big companies. We were going to launch Germany. I didn't need to be in Slovenia anymore because it was established. I had my team, room was full. They were doing great meetings all around. They were spreading to other countries. They didn't need me anymore. I could just walk away. Boy, was I wrong. What I didn't understand was that there were dream stealers in the room. There were people who wanted to do the business in an unethical way. There were shakeups at that time with our company. No offense to the company, but we were going through some shakeups at the time. There were huge challenges to get going. And so I want to talk about that. I was needed to maintain momentum. I left that market too soon. You don't want to do that. You want to get your initial strong market really strong with an awesome team. And when things lag, slow down, you have a slump, don't say, well, it's done for this market, I better move on. No. If you know it's a great market, if you know it has great potential, examine what the problems are and then get them fixed and get it strong. Don't leave until it's a market that maintains momentum and growth. Another requirement is before you would leave a market, when you would say it's established, is the company has added it to their schedule for smooth product delivery, for corporate incentives, for product promotions, and for events. You know, like in Europe, we would say Anna Krivich and Antonella Rispoli and Maya Spindler, you know that these corporate people are committed and they're going to come regularly to the market. They're going to make sure that it has regular events. It has all of these great things in place. And so now, when I think about Scandinavia, for example, I know that we've got some great professional leaders there who are excited about being first in their countries. I know that we've got events lined up, like the massive European event in Stockholm on December 2nd. I know ambassadors are going to go in there. You can see on my screen top leaders such as Dan Cato and Joe Garcia have added it to their schedule. They're going to be there at that event. And by the way, if you're listening, wherever you're listening from around the world, if you want to go to an awesome event and you can understand English, I'm not sure how many languages will be translated there, but if you can understand English, and even if you can just understand the feelings and the excitement, please book your ticket now. Get your event ticket now plan to be in amazing, gorgeous Stockholm on December 2nd for an event. Can you imagine? You're going to be at an event in a beautiful city right on the coast with islands and an old town, and it's just gorgeous, gorgeous place. Probably you've not been there before. It's going to be a great experience. Dan Cato, Joe Garcia are going to go on stage. Chris Charm, Maya Spindler are going to go on stage. Product inventors are going to go on stage and talk about that. Top leaders are going to tell their story. How would you possibly miss something like that? So just buy your ticket wherever you live in the world. Just go to Stockholm. Be there. Have a memory that helps keep you pinned down and established with a foundation. I'm going to have an event like that in my city, in my country. All right? These events, I can't tell you the value of having these. Well, you want to have those in your place. Go see how it's done. Go see what it's like. Take the pictures, record the thing, meet the people, come back with memories that will never leave you and help you burned in with your commitment to build your market and bring as many people with you as possible. So established, you're no longer needed to maintain momentum. The company is fully supporting it. The top leaders are fully supporting it with regular events. Here's a picture from Moscow from some years ago with Dan and Joe. And I got to tell you, when these guys have you kind of penciled into their schedule that they're committed to you and they're going to do events for you, they're going to be there for you, you know you are really, really on your way to financial freedom. Get that established wherever you are listening to this. What it takes to open countries on the other side of the world? Well, in the first place, you want to know where you're going and know what the market is. Don't just base it on somebody bought a platinum package in some country that you've never been to before and they sound excited on the phone. Find out, are there other companies in that country that are successful? Do the people there like home presentations, which by the way, I totally love because everyone has a living room. So what a fantastic way to multiply this business. Or do they say, I don't want anyone coming to my home. I want to go meet in a conference room. Well, we've proven with some markets, I won't name them, but we've proven with some markets that you can do millions and millions of BV in countries where they don't do home presentations and they just meet in conference rooms. And so that is possible. Find out. Find out if the people are focused on health. Not every country is. In some countries, only a tiny percentage of the people are into this wellness thing that we all love so much. You're marketing products that are about external and internal health and wellness. And so you need to know, how do people feel about that? How are they with appearance? I won't name names, but I've got a couple of countries in my market where the people, I've got to say, are tremendously obsessed, more than the rest of the world, in my opinion, with how they look all the time, especially the ladies. Well, it's not difficult to sell people on our products and what they can do for your skin, what they can do for the anti-aging effects and so on, and the external when you have a country like that. Find that out. What is the average income? It doesn't matter, by the way, whether or not the average income is $100 a month, and yes, we've got a lot of countries where that's kind of the average. I know you can't imagine people that could exist on that, but somehow they do. And other countries where it's $5,000 a month. Find out what is the average income. Find out whether people are readily using their credit cards and if they believe in using them for online shopping. Believe it or not, there's still some countries where if you went in there and you tried to launch that country, you would have to go through a lot of effort to work with the banking system and our company and everything else just to get people to be able to buy products with their credit card and not have to do bank time-taking bank transfers and so on. I've been through that, believe me. When we launched Slovenia, gosh, it took forever for the products to get certified and be able to come in. It took forever for the country to accept that and people not have to pay massive amounts of extra money for their packages to very expensive and sometimes not ethical importers. And then at the beginning, I had to do all bank transfers. There were times when I went to the bank, I kid you not, I went to the bank multiple times in a day doing $10,000 to $15,000 bank transfers in order to get going in that country because people just couldn't hop online, use their credit card and order. That's possible in countries. And then what's the work ethic? I got to tell you, there are countries where I think people would not travel 10 minutes down the road to a meeting. They would go, we have to go that far? Oh, okay, I guess I could go. And some countries where they go, okay, I could go an hour, but that's my max. And I'm not going to name some countries, but we got some countries where people are like, you bring it to me and put it in my backyard, or I'm not even going to attend a meeting. It's just too much effort for me. And Dan and Jill and I could tell you story after story of people we have met who have traveled like 36 hours on multiple trains, planes, buses, in high heat, in freezing cold, in whatever conditions, in order to do this business. And then work ethic, they can look outside. We have people in Siberia who look out the window and it is just a frozen like tundra out there. Like you don't want to step outside, and they will go out morning, noon, and night doing presentations and working the business. That's the work ethic, okay? Find out what the work ethic is and be prepared. If it's a low work ethic country, you're going to deal with some frustration with people, but you got to love people where they're at and give them a chance to change and to grow, or you're not going to make it in this business. So what does it take to open countries on the other side of the world? Well, they are pricey to support. Do you understand that you're going to go on a trip? For example, I'm leaving on Monday to go to, it's pronounced Busan in South Korea, on the southeast tip on the Sea of Japan. The trip is going to take 20 hours. I'm going to fly from Prague to Frankfurt, from Frankfurt to Taipei, Taiwan, from Taipei to Busan. I'm going to be there. It's going to take an extra day to get there, all right? So I'm going to leave on Monday. I'm going to get there on Tuesday. Tuesday night, have dinner with the regional director, corporate person, the country leader, the local leader. Wednesday, we have the event. The event is actually just 5 hours long. I get 1 hour with a translator. I will speak for 30 minutes. The translator will speak for 30 minutes. Then I will travel all the way back to those same cities to get back home, finally arriving home to my family on Saturday morning. I got to speak for 30 minutes and have some wonderful Korean food and spend time with these people and encourage them, and in the process, spend $3,000. Okay? It is pricey to support countries on the other side of the world. It takes you away from your home market. You could be traveling like crazy, establishing another market, and you really need to work on your own home market. It takes you away from your family. You know how much I hate the fact that I'm going to be away from my wife and these 3 adorable boys for a week. I really hate it. I just love them. I love to see them first thing in the morning. I love to kiss them and pray for them good night every night. And I don't get to do that for a week, but I'm paying the price because I've got to support my people. It's physically demanding. I got to tell you, you better be strong and be in shape to do this kind of globe-trotting thing, because it will take its toll on you if you're not. So don't be some unhealthy a fat slob trying to travel the world, getting ready to have a heart attack or a stroke, all right? Just don't do it, you know? Hire a trainer, change your diet, get in shape before you start ping-ponging around the world. Are you going to pay the price? And I want to talk to you about Russia. When Thomas, who you can see in this picture, he's over on the far right with the yellow tie, and there I am in the middle. When we launched this market, and this was, I don't know, like the third training in this picture that you're looking at, here we had this leadership team, and I gave them these little glass globes of the earth to honor them because they were going to reach the largest country in the world. And we were excited. But I'm telling you, I had no idea what the largest country in the world really meant until I started traveling from St. Petersburg to Khabarovsk to Vladivostok to Novosibirsk to, of course, Moscow to Rostov-on-Don to, and on and on and on. Thomas and I mean, we really gave our lives to launching that country. But one of the reasons is the people that you see in the picture, because these people are just some of the most amazing, committed people you will ever want to meet. That's the kind of people you meet in this business. We were excited when we got to know these people. We were committed. These were our friends. We were going to do whatever it takes to help them launch their market. They've been through huge problems with all the sanctions placed on Russia, skyrocketing cost of the products because of that. And yet we still have people under great leaders like Elena and Lubov and others who just will not stop, and they're going to take that country and keep producing millions of DV like it has done over the years. Wonderful, wonderful experience. Here is the big launch that we had in Moscow. You can see Dan, and to his left, Elena Kazurova, the founder of the market, and there's Joe Garcia, and there's Thomas, and there's me, and cutting the tape. It was so exciting. Can you visualize that for your market, for that happening in your city and in your country? Visualize it and then make your dream come true so that you can have a room like this or greater. It was a wonderful feeling. I stood on that stage and I told my personal story, and I looked out and I thought it was worth it. Because as my eyes panned the room, I kept locking eyes with people that I'd been to their city. I'd helped them with their family, and to get this launched. And wow, it is such an exciting thing to successfully launch a market. Expect country leaders to come from countries that you never even imagined. And I put on here like Sonia in Ireland, and Helen and Scandinavia leaders. I had no idea that Thomas had a best friend named Dalibor. And I had no idea that Dalibor was a guy who could design awesome websites, who was really handsome, tall, slender, a wonderful, gorgeous, smiling, positive wife by his side, and that he would get on the internet and he would search and search and search, and he would find people that led him to Sonia, who is one of the most committed, most positive, most joyful, smiling, wonderful, great hugger, by the way, person that I have in my business. And Helen, who is just Miss Laser focused on getting it done and launching Scandinavia. But through Thomas and through Dalibor, we found these amazing people, and they found their amazing team. And just a few weeks ago, a lot on that team and others came to Prague for a wonderful incentive trip. We had the time of our lives, really. I'm so happy. So happy the company discovered how great Prague is for incentive trips. But when you join this business to launch cities and countries, people are going to come from places you never imagined. I didn't know we were going to have a business in Ireland. I didn't know we were going to have it in Scandinavia. I would prefer having it on the coast of Spain, the coast of Italy, the coast of France, and the coast of Croatia. I think you're picking up a pattern here. I love being by the sea. I love the sunshine. I never imagined that I'd be in these other countries, and now I've gone many times. And I'm just so excited about the next step, because think about it. Nobody's launched India. That's mind-boggling. Second biggest market in terms of population in the world. Huge middle class, over 200 million people in the middle class in India. Nobody has launched India. Nobody has successfully launched Sub-Saharan Africa. Look at all those countries, incredible. I mean, can you imagine safari incentive trips? Who's launching Australia? Everybody wants to go to Australia and New Zealand. Who's launching that market? I'm not promoting to you that you go to those places right now and focus on that. Do it in your own backyard. But please, when you get established, don't be surprised if this takes you to the world. I was in Mexico, in Guadalajara, doing an event. I look forward to someday being in Peru and in Ecuador and in Brazil and in Argentina and all kinds of places in Latin America. So many places that I want to see. I'm so excited about the business and how wonderful it is to have the opportunity to successfully launch new markets. And here I end with this picture of our beloved Dan Catto standing on stage. I want you to look at this picture, and I want you to think about your city, about your country. Think about having a room with 1,000 or more people in it, with founding leaders, Dan and Joe, on stage, president of the company, vice president, product formulators, the whole thing. And then I want you to envision them inviting you up on stage and honoring you, because you made it happen. You were really the key person that was needed, or a member of the key team. If you really understand this business, what you'd like to see is you'd like to see a whole team that you built with up on that stage, being honored, being totally financially free, and successfully doing something few people can do. This is the opportunity that you have, and I hope that this has been a inspiring webinar for some people. There are certain people that absolutely, when they hear a webinar like this, they go, that's not for me. I'm not cut out for that. I just want to follow. I just want a little group. I just want this amount of little bit of money, part-time, a little full-time. But there are others of you that heard all of this stuff and you said, Garth, I can do that and I can do more. I can go to more countries. I can launch it bigger. I can do more volume. I can race to the top. I can. And for people like you, this webinar was designed. The I can do it people. So thank you very, very much for listening to me and being on this webinar with me.